Hello guys and welcome to GA Flying. Today the update of the Black Square Commander dropped, the 1.1 update with a lot of changes. So I decided it's the perfect opportunity to showcase the plane because I haven't before and the changes are pretty big. So I would say we will just jump to the changelog and let me present what is new. So the first thing is the new startup procedure, pretty much, because before the startup was working like for a continental engine, so like in the Baron, but it was a Lycoming engine, so it should work like, for example, in the Erven and in the Aerostar. And what this exactly means is first described here, and I will also show it to you in the plane. Next thing is the leaning computer now has a correct logic. Before it was working in an unrealistic way. And this change is pretty much great because this is also something that will be changed in other Black Square planes. So the whole fleet will kind of benefit from it. We will also see a more varied behavior of the EGT on the engine monitor and in general when it comes to the plane, because before it didn't really look fully natural. It was too even, pretty much always the same. Now there will be some more realistic randomness here. The next one, this one, is great for me because this is something that was really getting annoying in the Baron from Black Square that I'm flying like for my world tour. Because every time I was doing the magneto check, the drop was exactly the same. Which is not a problem if you are flying the plane like 3 times, but in the world tour I'm flying it like 50 times and getting exactly the same results every time is kind of immersion breaking after a time. So this will be changed. And I really hope this is something that will come to the whole fleet. And I think from what I could see on the forums, Nick from Black Square is planning to introduce most of those changes to his other planes and is already working on it. So this will be great. A new type of failure, a magneto timing failure. Here you can see the description is also something that is being introduced. Let me now go down. If you are owning this plane on the Just Flight store, you will receive an email with a link leading to this changelog that you can see here. And now we have click spots for entering the plane, so kind of like in other high quality planes in 2024. And this is super important. So now we have an advanced oil temperature simulation. So depending on the temperature, the viscosity of the oil and the resulting oil pressure will change. And it was like a big surprise for everyone. I do remember the topic on the forum that this is not something that was simulated before in Black Square planes, because everyone was pretty much expecting it to be a thing. But Nick said, no, but if you want it, sure. And this is how it was introduced. And I also hope we will also see it in other Black Square planes. Manifold pressure feedback from the turbocharger, so the change in RPM will be more natural when the turbocharger jumps in, which is also something that I think will boost the immersion, and we will take a look during the takeoff mostly. So this is something in the turbo normalized version that we have here. Is it turbocharged? No, it's turbo normalized. So that before, the checklist was telling you to look for a change in fuel flow when priming the engine, but most of the time the change was invisible. It was like very subtle. So people complained on the forum and Nick said, okay, so I will make it more visible, even if it's not always realistic, I guess. So this is what we'll be getting, and we will take a look. ADF turning acceleration, it was just horrible in the prior version. So it's great that this was fixed, but at the same time, I'm kind of sad because I found a workaround for it that I wanted to show you. So you will see how it really looks after the change, if it's really better, and if not, maybe my workaround will still work. And solar heating, yes, this is something that I have observed in the plane. Actually, on this airport that I will talk about in a second, the plane was just standing for a few minutes in the sun, and it was like 50 degrees Celsius inside, so it was just much too fast warming up. And also some additional stuff. So what I think is really important, what I think is really important here is that those are pretty much all, most of them are changes that will probably also be introduced in the other Black Square planes, which is just great because it means that the whole fleet will just get more and more advanced when it comes to the engine modeling on all of the systems, which is just amazing, especially since this plane is also the first one that is introducing a lot of additional stuff. So for example, full state saving that we haven't had before in Black Square planes. And this is something that is really important for me in such small planes because it makes all of those checklists, really crucial, because the shutdown checklist finally makes sense, because if you don't do it correctly, then you will have some incorrect setting for the engine start and can mess up the plane. Okay, so let me show you what we will be doing today. So we are pretty much in, let it load. So here we have Switzerland, here we have Italy. We'll be flying from Locher airport, which is actually one of the most iconic airports in aviation. I will talk about it in a second. Then we'll be flying along here, which is actually one of the nicest looking places in the sim. And I will also talk about here. We have Bolzano, we have visited it before. And we will be landing at Asiago. No, I don't think so, because there is no E. So this is actually the highest airport in Italy. And there is also like a great custom scenery for it here. So I will also talk about this one. And there is no VOR here, so I will use it to showcase the RNAV capabilities of the plane. Okay, so both airports are custom, both are very special, especially in this one. This is one that is often seen in PC-12 videos because there is a private owner here that owns a PC-12. I can show it to you. This is this one. And there are really, really scenic departures and landings on this airport. When it comes to the airport in general, it's a private airport. I think the Locher name is actually the last name of a businessman that is owning it. And there is like a crazy departure here with like multiple power lines that can kill you if you don't watch out. So you will also take a look. Actually, as you can see, and as is shown on those very popular videos, the PC-12 should be able to start from here. And I actually wanted to showcase it when the 2024 version drops of the plane. But sadly, this seems to be a little bit too short, at least to take off safely with the one that I have tried. Maybe I need to train so a little bit more. But we shouldn't have any problems with the commander. Pretty nice shot. When it comes to the airport in general, this is the payware version, but there is actually a freeware version that looks even nicer. When you go to Flight Sim.to, there's a very popular freeware version. Sadly, it was messed up with the updates of the sim, so somebody has published a fix that has fixed it for some time. And then MSFS 2024 changed again, and the fix is also not working anymore. You will be able to use the airport, but there will be a lot of visual glitches. That saying, it's totally possible to fly with the free version, and this is also something that I have started with. I'm just wondering what the sound is, kind of concerning. Maybe it's part of the scenery. Either way, the payware one is not the nicest looking one, but it's the one that fully works. Especially this ramp here is creating a lot of problems. This payware version is also not perfect. Sometimes you need lots and lots of power to go up. which shouldn't be the case. Well, not so much, I guess. Okay, so this was a lot of talking. With this, let me just go inside. When it comes to the livery, this is a custom livery, and the main reason why I'm using it is that it has a white cockpit. And I actually think the majority of the interior options are much too dark in this plane. I don't like them because of it. Was this open? No, I'm not sure. Because I just jumped in. Yeah, it's open. That's fine. So either way, I will, like always, link the livery, but the main reason why I'm using it is that it has this white interior. There is an option to switch interiors between liveries, but it's really complicated for custom liveries. It's much easier for liveries from Black Square. So it would be a lot of work to move this interior into a different one. I might do it in future, but not now. Okay, let's close it. And let's also close this one. So when you want to know in general what I think about this plane, I think it's an amazing plane that is maybe not for me. I just don't feel it. This might change with time. I mean, I really like it because it's very advanced and it's a like new step for Black Square with a lot of stuff that was not tried before. But the plane itself, the real life plane, is kind of meh. Although I have to say that this white interior makes it much more enjoyable for me. Because when it comes to the interiors that you normally get, the only kinda bright one is the yellow one, which is too yellow for me. I'm hard to please. Okay. Let's get the key. Let's make sure everything is set up correctly from our prior flight. It's fine. Let's get the battery and the beacon. Prop up. You can see it's already hot inside, but thankfully the turbo, I'm not sure why it's called TC if it's not turbocharged, but either way, you will have air conditioning here. Okay, so minimum voltage for engine start is 11 volts, and here we are over 12, which is great. I was afraid it might have discharged because I was testing night lighting, and I was afraid I might have left something. So here I can already see too much talking, not enough walk around. So let us go back up. And this is a great opportunity to check out this new click spot that is supposed to be here. And it works. Okay, so now let's properly prepare the plane then. Let's get rid of these and these. Yes, now it's safe to start. And once again, great opportunity to also check out the new click spot that wasn't there before the update. Oh, on the seat. Yeah, it's so much nicer with this like white interior. I really enjoy it. It's a great job by the livery outer here. 1008, before I forget. 100. Nice. Okay, so we do have the volts needed, we do have the battery, we have this on. So priming works exactly the same. So for priming, you are just going full and are using the fuel pump. And now we will be observing the fuel flow because this is also one of the improvements, if it's visible. No, it's not. So nothing has changed for me. And what changes is that you have to move the mixture to cutoff instead of leaving it full for engine start. Okay, so cowl flaps are on. It's getting really hot, so let's make sure that everything is fine. And we can try to start it. Okay, and once it starts, we have to move the mixture to full. So this is something that you haven't seen because I have actually used a binding that I have done. So Let me make it quieter. Or maybe let me just close the window. Should also help. Nice. So we started with it at cutoff, and then I used move mixture to rich that I have on a key on my keyboard to immediately move it to rich once it starts, pretty much. For other planes with the Lycoming engines, I was using increase mixture, but for some reason in this one, this binding was not working. So what is working is move mixture to rich. Okay, so alternator, nav lights, there's no taxi light here, so this is already moved, so we can get the avionics. And obviously the avionics are pretty much the one of the main selling points of the plane, I think, because we have lots and lots of original stuff here. Let me move this one to standby. I'm wondering why this looks like it's off, because I was not touching it. Let me just... Is this maybe a failure? I actually had one failure in this one already, and it was like a navigation lights failure. So let's take a look. Yay! Okay, come on. Okay, makes sense. So this is why it's failed. Nice. Live on stream. It should be very rare. Interesting. Okay, so let's just reset. Nice. Okay. It's a good observation from us. And now we can use the air conditioning. So we're using the supplementary alternator for it. And air conditioning. Okay, it lights up. We cannot really adjust exactly the temperature that we want to, so it will be getting very cold very fast, so we kind of need to monitor. Okay, so let me take a look at what the pressure is in American units. 298. 2981, I guess. Too fast. Okay. And I will be talking about it in a second. This is actually like my favorite GPS unit lately. And as I am already finishing up like my world tour that I'm doing with radio navigation only, I'm seriously considering doing the next tour that I will be doing with the KLM 90, because it's really a lot of fun and also not too easy. Either way, 298, so let's also adjust the autopilot for it. 298, 299. And we'll be cruising at around 6,000, and the initial climb speed, let's set it up to 800 feet. If you don't own the plane, if you don't own the plane, something that is important is that the white numbers are up and the yellow numbers are down. It's really easy to mess it up. So this will be down. Okay, so once again, lots of talking. Let me move this maybe already to altitude reporting. We do want this one. This is your main DME pretty much display, but we will also be using this, and we will be also using this, which is also a DME display. It's pretty much doing the same as here. That's saying if you will be using this RNAV capability with moving the VR to like a virtual position, then this will be well, no longer useful as DME, and then if you still want to use it as the DME, you would activate this mode. Actually, I was really surprised because the developer Nick has like always done like a long series about the plane, and actually the shortest part and the most brief one was the one explaining all of those systems. It's kind of strange because they are all challenging in different ways. Okay, so ADF. So what I wanted to show you is that before the tuning was very, very slow. And okay, now we have acceleration. So now my trick is actually no longer current, because my trick was to use this binding, increase wheel speed, which is a binding that normally doesn't work for me in pretty much no of the plane. It should work, in the planes, but it was never really accelerating the wheel, and the only use that I found for it was this tuning mode that was very slow. But now it was fixed, so I kind of I'm a little bit disappointed, but still. Let me take a look at the temperature. We can put it to off because it's already getting kind of cold. Let's see, the oil temperature is still kind of cold, which is sad because we will need a lot of RPM to go up here. So I would like for the engine to be a little bit hotter when we start it. Is there anything that we can do in the meantime that I can also show you? Yes, we can tune in already some of the VORs that we'll be using. So here it's not visible, but there is this, I think there is also a Bolzano VOR. Yeah, but let's just tune in this one because this is like straight out, so we don't really need it. And this one will be 11535. 11535, so this is also pretty original, so 11535. Oh, and we have already set it up from my prior flight, so I'm not used to Black Square planes remembering my settings, but I'm really happy that they do. It really feels like your plane, pretty much. Let's talk about this one. So we will just use it as support. I have shown it in like a lot of videos. If you look at my channel, the videos where I'm explaining it have the symbol of this GPS in the corner, pretty much. So this is already our path. Do not repeat how it works, but it's really nice because you can type in all of those waypoints with the keyboard if you want to. So like creating this flight plan took me, I don't know, 2 minutes. It's actually much more convenient than in many more modern GPS units. Either way, let's switch to nav, and we can also switch to the graphical view. This is a little bit bugged on this very airport. I'm not exactly sure why, but it should fix itself in the air. And with this, is it worth? No. Oh, and we can even see there is some signal. No, I think it's like the standard position for this one. And we can also tune in the NDB. We don't have one that will be very useful to us, but just to check if it will work, we can, for example, tune in this one. So we will see if we will fly too far. 390. So here. Oh, now it's even too fast. Okay. So I need to get used to it. 390. Yeah, so in general, when it comes to the avionics here, it's great that the Black Square will have new avionics available that they will be able to use in their future planes. But I think it's kind of too much in this plane. Really, you don't really need this one if you have this one. Yeah, I don't know. It's just too much, but it's really interesting as a proof of concept. I'm just not a fan. And also this one, this is pretty interesting. This is only for ILS tracking. We won't be using an ILS. And it took me a lot of time to understand that if you tune in the ILS here, it's not tuned in for the autopilot, because the autopilot will still follow glide slope that you set up on nav1, pretty much. So you still need the ILS frequency here if you want the autopilot to follow it. Okay, let's just see if we have any gyro drift. So it's below 30 and it's below 30. Okay, this is fine. If we would have gyro drift, we will have to adjust this one, but it seems to be fine. I think the temperature is okay now for us to try to go up the hill. So this is also what we will be doing. Oh, one additional thing that I wanted to show you. So in this plane, like in all other Black Square planes, there are no passengers, because Nick thinks that the passenger system in 2024 is really unrefined, and there are like buggy visuals and stuff. So this is why he, for now, refuses to pretty much use the system. That saying, there is a mod on FlightSim.to that I will link in the description, and this mod allows you to add passengers using this interface. So this is also what we'll be doing. I don't need the co-pilot, but I would like to have 2 passengers, please. And it's just using the normal 2024 system. Sometimes they will look strange, but most of the time they are like totally okay for me. And we can already go flaps 10, which is the takeoff setting, so we don't forget later. It's getting warm again, so I guess we can just start. This one I can turn off. Nice. Let me just see if everything is fine. It seems to be fine. And we can start. So despite this Payware airport being better than the other ones when it comes to fixing the ramp, it's still not perfect. Oh. Okay. And that was like a sudden change in tilt of the plane. I was afraid something is wrong. Okay, nice. So we made it. Can I? Because I stopped now for a second. Can we continue now? Yeah, we can. Nice. I was afraid this would be too much. And as you can probably see, sadly, the Payware version is also not perfect. It's like both a beautiful approach and a beautiful departure from here. Very epic, I would say, especially if it's done by a PC-12. We will check how this will work out for us. Actually, the departure itself is not like the only really unique part, but also dodging those power lines that you will see in a second. Here we can see some additional detail. Let's just move. I don't want to lose too much of the runway because even with this small plane, it's not an easy departure. So let's go for the parking brake. We are in the green. We can already turn on stuff, fuel pump. We will be doing the run-up, obviously. Just want to check all of the breakers. The pitot heat we don't need, it's like very, very hot. And the pitch trim you will be needing for the autopilot to work. I can move heading to runway heading. We can take a look at how this looks outside. Pretty nice, but it's getting hot, so air conditioning off for takeoff, so we have it. Trim neutral. The hops meter is actually not saving correctly, which is funny because now everything is saving, but not the hops meter. There are some tricks that you can use to make it safe, but not all of them are working, and like not always, at least for me. 2000 RPM for the run-up. And let's first exercise the propeller. Seems to work nicely. And now this new thing, there should be some variations in the magneto drop. So let's just see if this will be really the case. And now it's more than 20. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's less than the other one, or at least it looks like it's less. I just trust Nick that there is really a variation here. I think I saw one. Either way, let me just see. So we have altitude reporting. We don't have the DME for nav1 yet. Here we can also tune in the VOR that we will be tracking, but we still don't have the signal. And once again, it's great that we have this unit here, but I mean, having to tune it in so many times in different instruments feels kind of like those instruments were only there for there to be some variation. It doesn't feel like a natural avionics setup, at least for me, that's saying maybe a commander exists like this one. In real life, it really has all of those systems at once. Okay, let me just see. So we are in the green here. This is on, we are on full. This is fine. So let's not overheat the engine because it's getting probably hot. And we can try to take off. Hopefully there will be enough of the runway for us. Let me just use the brakes. And let's go full. And now it's not a problem. So it's pretty much 66 knots for the takeoff. Tap the brakes, rotation, power line, first power line below us. Some strong turbulence. Second power line above us. I have no idea how this is legal. And the next power line we have to also dodge here. Very strong turbulence after the hot day in the mountains. And we are keeping the manifold pressure at full and are just reducing the propellers. Let me just make sure we are kind of stable here. Nice. So beautiful views on the departure. You can get rid of the landing light and we don't need the fuel pump anymore. Yeah, it's one of the nicest places in the sim. And pretty much the whole way will be like this. There is actually some variation in the route that you can take when flying here, and I will talk about it in a second. Let me just get some trim. And when it comes to the fuel tanks, this one is designed to be used with both. So you don't need to be afraid that you will forget to use them or that using it on both is unrealistic, because at least from the real life flying videos I have seen, it is well, supposed to be flown on both in normal circumstances. being thrown around here, or just a little bit, not so bad. And we will see if we will get some signal here. If not, maybe for this part we can actually climb a little bit, go up to 6,000 feet, and this is too much climbing. Because we can then check out this leaning behavior, this like leaning computer, or like the leaning function of the engine computer. So something that I really like about this version is that you can see the power, the horsepower here. So you don't need to go into the specific setting. And this is actually one of the most useful functions of the computer, so it's great that it's always visible. We can check if there will be a storm, but I'm not suspecting that we might get one still. This was kind of buggy for me sometimes. Sometimes this cross doesn't disappear, which I think is a bug, because there can be some like phantom readings, which is expected from the electronics inside the cockpit, but the cross, I think, if it just stays, it doesn't disappear, is a bug. Let's see, so it's getting colder but still pretty hot, so let's get the air conditioning. We are at 5,000 feet, some majestic mountains here. And the display works now, so it was only like a problem before. And so just coming back to the world tour and to radio navigation, I will be probably doing like a summary video for the world tour in the Baron, and I will talk about radio navigation a lot. It's actually in most places it's not a problem, but sadly it's getting more of a problem during the Atlantic crossing, which is like the most dangerous part pretty much. So I will probably switch to GPS navigation, but like a normal GPS is kind of, well, boring. So I'm really inclined to use the KLM90. Especially since it's also challenging because it doesn't have ILS approaches. So obviously you can tune in the ILS and fly it as normal, but it doesn't have ILS approaches in the database. So the waypoints that will bring you to the glide slope pretty much are missing. But it does have RNAV approaches, like for GPS approaches. And when it comes to the world tour, I was also thinking I would be using the RNAV device a lot that you also get in the Baron. Like I've actually used it maybe 2 times, mostly because like far away from a VOR, the signal is not strong enough to really give you a very solid reading on those virtual waypoints. But if it's not far enough from a VOR, then you are close to the VOR, so most of the time you don't need really to create a virtual one. So I didn't really have that many like real use cases for it as I was expecting. Either way, we do have the reading from the VOR that we have set up now. Here you can see the range to it, and here you can see pretty much the same. We are now showing the same thing. We are close to 6,000, so let me just jump to autopilot for a second, because I will want to click a lot of stuff. So heading and altitude select. And now I can play around. So here you can see it's around 23, the distance to the VOR, and this is pretty much also what we can see here. So this is pretty much doing what we see here. If you don't know, you can switch it between NAV1 and NAV2 here, but they are the same. So this is why we are seeing the same signal. Once again, saved from my prior flying, which I think is just great. I guess we can now try out the leaning. So let me just get the manual for the plane. So you will just check out the cruise setting. One tip for using those manuals for black square planes, everything starts expanded, at least for me. So you can click here and collapse top level bookmarks. And this way you can see everything at a glance. And we want the power setting for the turbo normalized one. Okay, so let's get 65, for example. So 23 manifold and 2400. Oh, sorry, I should be looking at this one. So manifold is here, 24, and also 24 here. Yep. So we have kinda standard setting, and now we can try to lean it. So this will be rich of peak leaning, and let's see what the difference will be. Okay, so now it's leanest, and what it is supposed to do is doing both richest and leanest, I think. Let me just see. Okay, so let's go back, because we want it to be rich of peak, not lean of peak. Okay, so here is the peak. Okay, now we are going rich of peak. So normally around 50. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a difference in when it detects the peak, depending on if you want leanest or richest. Because I was following the discussion, and I'm not sure if this is exactly what was supposed to happen. And I think, yeah, it might be just the logic when it's just showing you the peak, pretty much. Let me try it again, because now I'm not convinced. Maybe it's showing both the peak and the leanest message? I'm not sure, because this should be kind of the peak where we are. This will be lean of peak. Yeah, so I think it's just the logic of it working and the message that is being displayed. Either way, what we should also see is a more natural EGT spread, a more randomized one, which is hard to judge, to be honest. Yeah, but if I would be having so many hours, now it's cold. If I would be having so many hours, now we can use the heating. In this one, as I have in the Baron, I would probably like spot the differences here. But in this case, I don't know. Before it was also kind of looking natural, so it's very subtle. And here we have the curse to the VR that we should be flying. Kinda. And this range should reduce pretty much with time. So something that I also want to show you is this one. So creating this virtual waypoint with the RNAV, and we'll be doing it for the destination airport. So once again, let me show it to you here. So this is our destination airport, and the VR is here. So let's create a virtual one. We're just clicking on the airport. Here we have radio navigation aids, and the closest one will be the Vincenza. And here we already have all of the info that we will need. Can I do it like this? Yeah, I think I can. Yes, I guess we can do it on NAV1. 11340. Oh, it's even set up here, because once again, it's saving everything that you use, which is just great. 113.4, radial 332. Nice. And the distance will be, is it? Yeah, it is 113.4, 332, and the distance is 16 and let's take a last look. So we are at nav1, 332, yes, and 16.5. Yeah, so a mistake that you can make and that I have also done is now leaving this here, this data, because I have done it before, but now as it is saving everything that you put in, this will stay for the next flight. And when I was flying, I forgot that I have something here, and it was leading me to a different place than the VOR that was tuned in. So watch out for this one. You have to kind of manually reset it every time if you use it. So this way is also like beautiful pretty much, but we will be choosing this one. I wanted to show you the different ways that you can take. Pretty much all of them are great. So you can either go here, which we are doing. You can take a turn here, which is also great. Or pretty much the most epic one, I think, is this one. Here, around, and you can go up. So all of them are worth checking out. We will be just using this one because I want to use as many nav 8s pretty much as I can. And in the meantime, you can also tune in this VOR here. So it's 115.8. 115.8, and we can take it here. And this will be our VOR too. You can check. Yes. Oh, that was a lot of switching, but you can see it here. I guess we can allow ourselves some outside views now. Whoa, okay, this is nice. I wasn't expecting to get, oops, a good one right away. So one thing that I have bought now is a gamepad only for the usage of the external view. So I'm not using it yet, doing what I'm doing now, but I will be probably using it in future, and you will also see it being used in the replays that will be there in this video. Okay, this looks actually really good. I was afraid because of the bright sunshine it will be actually kind of everything washed out, but it looks really nice. And the plane looks much better with visible passengers, I think, although it's not as crucial as in the Caravan, where not having those passengers at all feels just very unnatural, not seeing them behind you. So I really recommend you, if you own the Caravan, download this mod. Sadly, the mod is only for 2024 because it's using the 2024's well, passenger system pretty much. So it won't work in 2020. No, this actually looks really good. Okay, so it was a really good choice to come here. And the airport that we'll be landing at is not as iconic as Locher, but also pretty interesting. There's always some wind there, and there's like a mountain on the approach, so a lot of stuff happening. And also, like, it's a high altitude airport, so if it's like a lower powered plane, it's also more challenging. Yeah, I kind of like this livery. Although, as I said, I didn't choose it because of the exterior, I did choose it because of the inside of it. But still, it's kind of growing on me. Maybe because it's just this beautiful terrain, so everything could just look great. And one thing that, yeah, I know it's hot now. I'm like, hot, cold. Oh, because it's... Okay. It's a lot of work to keep the right temperature in this one. Is there anything else? So no, we are not switching the tanks because we don't need it. So I guess I can just jump ahead, and once we will be closer to our destination, I will come back to you. See ya. Okay guys, so we are getting closer and closer, looking at some very nice views here. It's getting very turbulent, but still kind of stable, I think. So one thing that I did remember when looking at the outside view, I was actually observing an interesting discussion around black square planes when it comes to them accumulating dirt, because this is something that we see in more and more high quality add-ons, and somebody was asking why Nick is not using it, and the answer was pretty interesting. Like, according to the tests of Nick, it has always a very high performance impact, and this is why he pretty much decided not to use it. It's pretty interesting information, because when we were flying the Lancer Legacy, that has like a very, very, very advanced dirt system with those different types of dirt accumulating because of different reasons, this plane does have a pretty significant performance impact. I mean, I have a medium range computer and it's working fine, but it's heavier than many other light GA planes, so there might be some truth in it. So I would just wish that maybe Asiago would just optimize this system, because it would be really great to also have it in black square planes, I think. With this, I think we can come back here. We can cut this corner, nothing bad will happen, just to save some time, because I want to show you this functionality, so like the descent functionality and climb functionality, and also the RNAV guidance. So if you want the autopilot to follow the RNAV guidance and the RNAV guidance to be visible here, then we have to switch it to RNAV, pretty much. And now we will see the same that we will see. So our destination airport, this fake VR that we have created, is at bearing 046, so kind of here, in 25 miles. And if you want not the direct radial to it, the direct course to it, but we want like a custom radial, then we can change the mode. Did I mess it up? Let me just no, like this. And then we can just select the radial to this fake VR that we want, and it will show us the deviation. So here we would have to turn a lot left to be on this fake radial if we would like to approach via radial 052. But we just want the direct path to it. Let me turn, make sure there is no mountain here that I will turn into. I'm just wondering if we can already get the NDB. No, it's still not found. I'm not sure if this NDB works, because the NDBs in Italy are kinds of, well, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So you will see. 041, so let's kind of go there. And we can descend a little bit, because this is pretty much why I'm showing it to you. So let's go to 4,000 feet with a descent speed of 600. So we have it set it in, and then we just go to vertical speed, and it will follow the settings here. So if we want to increase the descent speed, it's increasing like this. So just so you know, this is actually one of the nicer devices that we have inside this cockpit, because the other ones, as I said, especially those, this one is kind of and I wish this one would be not needed and everything would be here, pretty much. It's great that we now have those in black square planes, but I just hope that next time it will be a more natural usage of them, because now a lot of functions are pretty much duplicated and it doesn't feel natural to me. But I was talking about it already, so, and not that important. Another thing, I kind of start liking this plane more just because of this interior, because I discovered this interior some time ago. I didn't notice that this one livery has this white interior. All of the other liveries, custom liveries that I have seen, have either black or gray. Gray is also fine because it's brighter, but it doesn't look as great as the white for me. So really nice. Either way, 22 nautical miles left, so I guess we will jump ahead some more. See ya. Okay guys, so we are getting closer to the airport. As you could see, it would be hard to find it without GPS and without any other means, but actually the RNAV is working really nice. It tells us that it's like 7 miles away at 29, and we are pretty much, so it will be here. I can disable the autopilot and we can slowly prepare for the landing. So fuel pump, landing light, and when it comes to the approach speed, it's 80 knots and the landing speed is around 71. It's above 71, so around 70. And the landing is normally done with full flaps, and the approach is done with flaps 20, I think. Okay, so we have some slight turbulence here. We'll just move in the direction of the airport. I'm looking at the RNAV unit still, and I think it's a good example of the usage of this one. If we would not have the GPS, then with this one we would be able to find it without any problems, and we might even like tune in a very specific radial that we would like to use to reach it, which might be very handy in those circumstances here, as we have those many mountains. We can go mixture full and flaps full, not this, not this, this, nice. There's also the option to close the cowl flaps, but it's like so hot during the whole flight that I didn't decide to do it. Normally the usage is pretty much like in any other plane, so for cruise and for descent you will be doing it. We haven't been doing much descending because it's high pretty much all of the time here. First notch of flaps, and we can already go to gear down. It was not the gear, that was turbulence. Let me just see, it's here. Nice. So let's slowly move to our approach speed. I wasn't expecting it to be so windy, but I think we can work with it. There is actually also a freeware version of this airport that we are flying to. It is marked as 2020 and not 2024 compatible, but if I were you, I would test it out. I didn't notice it when I was preparing the video, so I got like the payware one, but maybe it's also good. It looked pretty nice, pretty close to what we have here with the paid version, so it should be fine. Next notch of flaps, and we are at flaps 20, so the approach flaps setting. Do we have puppy lights? I'm not sure. I'm not seeing it. Whoa, 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 downdraft. Okay, let's just add some power. So from what I know, the payware version is also adding some objects in this small city here. There's like an arc, for example, on one of the mountains close by. Wow. Should have flown in the morning. then it's always less turbulent, and we can go flaps full. Oh, not so bad, I think. Oh, wind, wind, wind. Come on, plane. No? Okay. Go around. Okay, so I wasn't planning it. We will just do a nice circle. Next notch of flaps. And at 70 we can go flaps clean, so I guess we can do it now. Whoa, the plane really doesn't have too much power at those altitudes if it's also so hot as it is today. So actually this go around was not so easy. I was expecting it to have like a very big power reserve. So at least we'll be able to take in some additional views. And I hope that the next attempt will be easier, because this one was really challenging because of the wind. So now I regret I didn't enable head tracking, but I think we'll be able to do it. Yeah, but this really looks nice. No, now over this mountain, okay. I'm just afraid that it might be hard to get rid of speed if we just do a circle like this, but we will see. Not bad. Oh, no sunshades? Okay, I'm used to them from the Baron. Okay, and here you can see we have, I think, caught the NDB. So I guess another benefit of us taking some more time, I can show you the last of the systems I think that I haven't covered. And this is the NDB behind us that I have tuned in for us not to miss our turn, because it's already like too far away. Hello. Yeah, I actually, like in the past, I was never a fan of passengers. I was always thinking they look kind of creepy. But nowadays, I'm kind of used to the 2024 ones. It's only the co-pilot that is kind of creepy to me for some reason. But like passengers sitting in the back, no problem at all. Okay, let's get rid of some speed. Let's see if we are not overheating anything, like flying solo with full power. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's the gear horn, which is also pretty original. This one. I just want flaps 1 before I turn. Yep, flaps 1. Sometimes this actually gets stuck and you have to like tap it, which is also totally realistic. Oh, this is nice, this part. Haven't seen it before. So as you can see, only benefits of this go around. You can see and experience more stuff. Okay. I didn't make it very coordinated, so I'm working with the pedals now. I think I can go flaps 2, because we will need to lose some speed. And we can get the gear down. So gear limit is actually 130 knots. Nice. I was watching some real life videos of the commanders like dropping the gear, and it's totally random. Sometimes it just drops immediately, like there's like no power at all in the system or no pressure, and sometimes it's like a very long and awkward process. You can see the DME, it's 4 miles. Oh, so we are a little bit too slow. And here you can see from all of the systems that I have turned in, all of the false readings, so we can clear them here. I can feel the very strong wind even now. Actually, sometimes for a coordinated cruise with the ball being inside, I needed to use the rudder trim, and it's like super convenient that it's here. So this is also something that I didn't really touch upon. When we were cruising, I didn't notice if it was coordinated or not. If it's not for you, remember you have it here. It's really nice that you don't have like to search for it somewhere on the column here. Okay, but too much talking and we will have the same situation as before in a second. I just need to prepare for the very strong wind from the right, I think, which was not in the forecast. I'm not crabbing on purpose here. Just see. Yeah, in general, when it comes to the approach behavior of this plane, not only in this situation that seems to be kind of difficult, but like in normal situations, I'm not sure. I think it's like not that stable in approach, at least when compared to other ones. And it has, okay, this downdraft again, really scary in this place. So I guess we just need to keep more distance to the ground over this mountain. I'm kind of afraid to go full flaps, just because the wind will have more of an influence on us when we do it. And I think it really likes to drop the nose in approach, despite keeping those 80 knots approach setting. That is wind gust again. Okay, now let's just commit to this one. And let me show you this one I'm doing on purpose. If you are braking very strongly, this is also one of the new effects. You will get this like nose wheel shimmy, it's also this vibration. Okay, not the best landing. I'm sure touchdown effects will hate me for like missing the touchdown zone. But still, we made it. We can get rid of the fuel pump, and get rid of this one. And in a second, you will also get rid of the rest. Here you can see some cows. There will be also some classic vintage planes before this hotel here. Well, in front of it. So a nice poster here. I think you can spawn inside, but I'm not sure anymore. And we will just hold on before this hotel, FBO, whatever. But before that, maybe not to blind people. Let's get rid of the strobe lights and the landing lights. And we can proceed. Yeah, this was interesting. Wasn't expecting for it to be so challenging. That saying, I always had pretty much strong changing winds on this approach, which makes sense after a hot day, I would say. So let's get this one, lean for ground operation, and let us check the checklist. Post-flight, after flying, flaps up, they are up, cowl flaps open, fuel pump is off, lights as required, only the strobe light. Air conditioning, yeah, we will be just shutting down in a second, so not worth it. Avionics are off, electrical equipment. Actually, what I like to do in this one is really like close them one by one, because then I will have more to do when I will be turning it on the next time. So let's get rid of this. Okay, this is off, this is off, this is off, this is off. This is off here. Okay, and now we can shut it down. Throttle closed, propeller stays at high RPM, mixture cut. Magnetos go to off, and we can click on the key, it goes back here. Alternators go to off. I think the pitch trim is not mentioned. Let me just see. Yeah, it's not, so it should go on off. Alternator to off, and battery master in a second. Let's just move this to neutral for the next time. We don't need this alternator. And to move it to off, you have to click this button here. And we can also move it here. Fuel selector. Let's get out. This new click spot. Nice. Yeah, so what can I say about the plane? I think it's great. I think it's pretty much like a revolution in the fleet of Black Square. My favorite feature is the full state saving, because it really makes you care about how you leave the plane, and it really makes you do the checklist, or at least like monitor everything in the beginning when you sit in it to check if like anything is left from the other flight. Also, it boosts the ownership feeling, because you can see the frequencies from your prior flight already tuned in. The plane itself, I don't know. I love the outside, how it looks from the outside, the exterior, because it looks like very sporty. The interior, I was really strongly disliking until I found this one livery with the white interior that I think really works for me, and I feel like better or like more immersed for some reason. But this is how it sometimes works for me. Yeah, great. And I cannot wait till all of those changes will be moved to the remaining planes from Black Square. Actually, one thing, that I'm always forgetting, but I'm always liking to do, is the night lighting check. So this is something that you can also do. There's some really nice warm light here. Let me go on the wing, click here, and we can check it out. So let's get back to the battery, and let's go back to, I mean, not back to, but let's get the lights here. And as you can see, I forgot to turn off the beacon, and next time it will be on, which that's just great. Okay, let's go to the weather. Let's make it dark. Okay, I think it's dark enough. And we also have those lights here, but they are mostly illuminating the control column here. And pretty much both of them do the same. So they are mostly directed here. And we also have them in the back, and they look pretty nice, if I can find them. Low click spot. No, yes, maybe. Last time I was able to do it blindly, but it's not so easy. I think I will need to go back to daylight for a second. Just to be, I was close. And now we can make it nice and dark. Yeah, so when it comes to the night lighting, I always liked how Black Square is doing it. Yeah, nice, immersive, warm. We can also go outside because I wanted to show you some of those custom elements here. So here you have those vintage planes, but actually in the night, this like arc is really well visible, and this is also one of the custom elements that come with this airport. So it's not big. Not special when it comes like to the quality of how it is done, but it's still decent. What is special about it is that it's like here high up in the mountains with a pretty challenging windy approach. And there's also some interior visible in some places. I guess we can also go full lights just to show you how it looks like. Okay, everything works, the beacon is working. So, a great update. And as I said, I have high hopes of most of what is included in this plane, and also what came in the update, which is even more advanced, even more deep, even more immersive, to also find its way to the other planes. And it seems like this will be the case. And I'm also obviously hoping for the twin commanders that are supposed to come. The twin commanders are actually one of the planes that I'm considering for the next world tour, but I will talk about it probably in the sum up of my prior one that I will be doing. So guys, thank you very much for watching. It was probably too much talking in this one, so sorry for that, but I hope it was still interesting, and I see you in future GA flying videos. Thank you, bye bye.